What's up, y'all, and welcome to the No Ceilings podcast on the Turtlesmith Network. I am Cortni, and as you can see today, it is Ladies' Night on the No Ceilings podcast, and this is my good friend Dylan.
Hello.
Welcome, Dylan.
Thank you. It's nice chase.
Go ahead. All right. Vincent is out today, and so Dylan is sitting in, and she's hanging with me, and I am super excited to have her here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right. Well, how's your week been?
It has been quite a week, I hear, for everyone.
Yes.
I don't know if it's something in the air or what, but it's been crazy. I feel like it's just been go, like one thing after another.
I agree. Like, I feel like this week has just been just continuous. It's like one day after another. It's just constant running. Yeah. It's hot outside. So by the time you come in, you're super drained. Yeah. And I'm sick of it. Yeah. If I can be completely honest, tomorrow I just want to rest.
Yes.
And rest is important. And speaking of rest and running, today our episode is about how to manage your time without losing your mind.
Yes. Very funny.
So if your to-do list is starting to look like a CVS receipt, then this one is for you. So let's reclaim your time. One of the first things that we realize about time is that time doesn't need to be managed. You do. You've got to manage your time. And so you want to start by defining your top 3 priorities, whether that's daily or weekly. And I feel like it's something that I'm actually working on right now as we speak, you know. For me, I set up a time, I put timers in. So, for example, this week, I am the person that is shuffling our children back and forth everywhere that they need to go. Also taking meetings for things that I need to do and appointments that we have because it's getting close to time for school to start, right? Yeah. And so I have my normal schedule and I follow that schedule. But then I had to go in and add additional alarms and set additional to-do lists that I wrote down like for the side of my bed so that I wouldn't forget anything. How about you?
Honestly, I've never tried the timers. Do you feel like that has success? Like it reminds you throughout the day?
So I do. I set them prior to. So let me just pull it out. Pull my phone out. And so like I'll get up in the morning. The first thing, like if I stay up late and watch a little TV, I still want to be able to follow my schedule. I don't want to oversleep or anything like that. And so one of the first things that I do, I make sure that when I get up, I have a time frame in which I don't sit on my phone or scroll through my phone. That first hour of the day, I don't. That time is time for me. It's my my meditation time, the time that I use to do my Bible study and things like that. And then from there, I start to get dressed. Yeah. So those times are separate. I don't do them all at the same time. Right. So I want to make sure that I wake up early enough to have enough time for that. And then from there, I flow into my day. There's study time. There's time that I have for different projects that I'm working on. Some of that is related to, I need reading time. Right. Then there's time to be on the phone, making phone calls, that kind of thing. And so you've got to really kind of schedule it out so that you can actually get things accomplished.
Yeah. I think on like the perfect week for me, for a morning routine specifically, is like waking up, having enough time to like journal, because I realize that that's actually something that really helps me with my mental health. And like the weeks that I don't do that first thing in the morning, I'll find time in the night. But like I know that like first thing in the morning is usually helpful because it kind of just like makes sure that you're starting off on a good foot. But yeah, I definitely need to stop waking up and just getting sucked into my phone. Like I really hate phones, and like for my job I have to be on it, and I wish I set better boundaries for myself with that, because sometimes I'll be like, oh, I have to post this one thing. Well, I'll go check the other account. Well, I'll go check over here. Yeah. And then what do you know? I'm on Reels for 30 minutes. And I'm like,
and
what?
The time goes so fast.
So fast. You blink. Yep. Or even with I had some family in town, and my little cousins were showing me about roadblocks, which I didn't know much about it. Kind of overlapped.
Hated it.
And oh my God, I feel like all of that is just like a literally a time you sit, you press a button, you wait, and then you go press another button and you wait, and you're just waiting. And I'm like, is this, no, like not tinfoil hat time, but like, is that why it was made? Is to just derail your time? And
I have no idea. I actually banned my daughter from it.
Oh, I can see why.
She's 9, and she's been banned for it for well over a year.
Yeah.
Just because there are some things that I've seen online, and I'm just like, But my older kids, they're older, and I kind of let them look at it a little bit. But I'm very clear, because I have a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm very clear in letting them know I don't like it.
Right.
I don't like it. It does suck up your time. There's other things that you could be doing. You could be taking up a trade. You could be learning, so many different things that you can do with, computers, AI, all of that.
Yeah. I think it's kind of important to like figure out do you have time. Like you said, you have a scheduled time of like, here's my phone time, and then like when is the time for you to do like your daily or weekly things, or maybe something new came up and you have to incorporate that to your schedule. Like I find the hardest time of like, if I already have a to-do list and then I need to add something to the to-do list, now I don't like that to-do list because it's 15 things longer than what I started with or something.
Or what about when you have your list set, you have your schedule set for the day? Because sometimes people get anxiety when they don't have a set schedule. But then somebody goes and adds something into your schedule. Yeah. So then you've got to learn how to say no. And I think that that's important. You've got to learn how to say no without any guilt.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's one of the hardest things, especially when you have family members that need your assistance or attention, and it's not something that's included in the structure of your day. Or even friends, hey, you want to go out to lunch, or you want to grab some drinks, and it wasn't already pre-planned. If you've got some deadlines that you've got to hit, you've got to learn how to say no and not feel bad about it. You know?
Something I struggled with, like even back in college and slightly after that, was like, you've heard of FOMO, like the fear of missing out. And then I was just like, well, I haven't seen my friends in a few weeks. Like, I have to say yes now. And it's like, well, you've been saying no because I've been working so much, and like I literally have no time off. Like my days off are days that I have to do things, you know? And so, I think that's a big thing. Luckily now my friends are very like, oh, you need time. Like, we'll see you next round or whatever. But like, like, saying no, I think for me, it was just kind of like, I was afraid that maybe I wouldn't be asked again. So I was like, well, I have to say yes. But like, it was detrimental to me because I had no time to like recover from everything else.
It can become stressful. And speaking from being, a person that's, married with children, and my friends are married with children, we've all we've gone years where we don't get to do a lot of different things because we are, life is life, and we've got to work and take care of kids and do sports and all of those things. We have finally become more intentional about ensuring that we have that time. So we know we're going to get together once a month. And we kind of put together a schedule. Here are 4 dates. Who can do these dates? This is the theme for the month. Are you okay with this theme? If not, here's some other options. We can all just be a part of the process and then figure out where we're going and what we're going to do, so that we can have that time to spend together and everybody can kind of pre-plan for it. For the most part, the ones that we've done have worked, but I'll be honest, the last couple of months, it's been a no-go just because it does get busy. But I think that when we realize that we are so busy, we don't take it personal or anything. We just know, we'll catch you on the next go round. So, the second point is to time block like a CEO. And we've kind of talked about that a little bit. We've talked about morning routines. And one of the things that I really want to point out is your creative time versus your admin time. Creative time is important. And I feel like that time is uninterrupted time. That's time that you need to sit and think about your ideas, kind of structure what it is that you're going to do with those ideas. For for me and some of the things that I do, that gives me time to brainstorm.
Yeah.
You know, and once you have that opportunity to brainstorm, then from that, I can put together an administrative schedule that kind of lays out the task that I need to complete in order to make the task, the creations that I have come to fruition.
Right.
And so I think that's one of the really, really big things, because you can rabbit hole in creative time.
Oh, yeah.
And be in it for hours. So you do have to put it together and then cut it off.
Yeah.
And then in that time also create, it's almost like creating boundaries.
Right.
You know, within that time. What about you?
I really liked how you said, like, being intentional with your time. I think that's something that I'm trying to practice a lot more of, like, okay, well, I only have, let's say, like 4 or 5 hours before I want to get to bed after I get home from work. Like, how do I actually want to spend those 4 to 5 hours? Part of that, I know I have to cook dinner. I know I have to take my dog out. And then it's like, well, do I have laundry, or like what? Or do I want to read this book that I want to read? Or do I want to start on some of the projects that I have kind of in the air? And then sometimes I find myself of like, well, I have so many options that I could do, then why don't I do none of them?
Right.
Like, it just gets so overwhelming for me sometimes. So,
and sometimes you need rest.
And and rest is super important. Something that me and my friends kind of went through the same thing is, like, we would be going and going and going, and then we'd get sick or something. And then we'd be like, oh, I'm sick now, which is your body literally telling you now is the time for rest. Like, you need to be resting right now. But we'd be like, oh, well, now's the perfect time for me to clean the kitchen and get back on the laundry that I haven't done and all this other stuff. And it's just like, well, that prolongs the sickness.
Correct.
And, you know, and I think if we thought about it in the aspect of, like, time management can be beneficial to your health, like, because it helps kind of sort everything out. So you know when you have time, like when your planning time is, and then also like when your fun time is, or whatever, when the life time is. And obviously life can interact and interfere with your planning time, but like, as long as you have somewhat of like a roadmap for yourself, like, I feel like you understand your time the best. So like, I've just been kind of going through, like, seeing what works for me versus, like, just listening to what everyone else says. Like, well, I can do, like, 15 things in my morning or whatever. And it's just, like, that might work for you, but that might not work for someone who needs, like, a couple minutes to get ready and get coffee. I mean,
like, for an entrepreneur, like, just think about, like, if you are running a business, for example, I'll use the bail bond example that I pretty much use all the time. You don't know what the day is going to bring. And so if I could go back into time and really just restructure how I did things, like, I would probably have a schedule. I didn't have a schedule. I know I wanted to be at my office at 8, and I didn't know how long I was going to be there, sometimes till 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. But I wish that I had put some structure in place on how I wanted to handle certain things, so it didn't seem so overwhelming at times. You know, on this day I'm going to do this. We'll complete this task. We'll get the court calendar ready, that kind of thing. There's just a lot of different things that you want to do. And so looking back at a lot of the previous jobs that I've worked or things that I've done, the structure that I have in place now is probably way better than the structure. I was just out here just doing anything.
Right.
Yeah. But it also created a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
It created a lot of unnecessary stress.
Right.
And so it's really based on who that works for. Structure, sometimes structure does work for people, sometimes structure doesn't work for people. But it really just depends on you, you know. And then, you know, you also want to have buffer zones and no meeting days.
Yeah.
That's important.
Take that time to, like, feed back into yourself. Like, because I also feel like, especially for people who, like, you know, I mean, everyone right now, like, money's tight, like, everything's so much more expensive. So I feel like in today, like, it's encouraged to not have free time. Like, if you don't have free time, then that means you're, like, working harder or you're getting more money or whatever. But like, at what cost, you know?
Well, our number 3 is using the tools that work for you. And so let's talk about those tools just a little bit. So I was pulling out my phone earlier because I literally just, I use a few different tools, but just to keep everything right here on my phone, I just use different alarms for different things. And so you'll randomly see, like, if it's 5:30, it says cook dinner. Like, I literally put all of that on there, or study for this. If I'm getting ready for, to take a test for a certification or something, I have study time. I have all of that built in. I even have the time that I want my kids to start getting ready for bed built into alarms. Yeah. And, I set them in advance so that I'm like, okay, in 15 minutes, I'm going to call my daughter to get ready for, start getting ready for bed. Yeah. So that I can keep that schedule structured. But I also use Notion.
Oh, okay.
And Notion is pretty cool. And I've used Trello before. But there are some others, like, using a Google Calendar. Clockify is one. And then some people just use a good old-fashioned planner.
Yeah.
I did that for a while, and that works. But when you're just constantly on the go, that trusty phone
it's right there.
It has everything.
Yeah.
And so it's just good. I tried sticky notes. I realized that the sticky notes managed to be all over my desk, and I'm not marking them off and tossing them in the trash as I'm marking stuff off. But, there's also on our phones, if you have an iPhone, they have that one little system that's kind of built in. And dang it, what is the name of it?
Is it the reminder?
Yeah, kind of like the reminder app. It does that. And shortcuts.
Shortcuts.
Okay, yeah. And I've played with it a little bit. It already has some pre-built shortcuts in there, but a lot of that works. You can put chores in there. You can set it up to what time do I need to leave by, so that it really just keeps you on that schedule.
Yeah.
And even if you want to learn a new word, you can have it put in different. You can have it set a time to teach you a new word every day. So
that's really cool.
There's a lot of neat things on these phones that we don't pay attention to because we're too busy trying to download all the other apps.
Right.
And it's got stuff. It's just a walking computer. So.
Right.
So number 4 is audit and adjust weekly. And so you want to look back and figure out, where did your time go? If you are setting goals for the week or priorities for the week that you want to accomplish, if you didn't accomplish that, where did that time go? What's stealing your energy? If you're overly tired and things aren't going the way that you had intended for them to go, why is that? And so you want to go back and you want to look at that each week until you find the right adjustment. Right. To be able to get things done. And so my best friend and I, that was the whole point of setting alarms for all of the things that I was doing, because I was like, man, I feel like I just don't have the time to get everything that I'm trying to do done. And I am literally working on it all day long. But what was happening is I was spending too much time brainstorming and not executing. And so
that's tough to tough to get out of too.
Yep.
But I something from working on sense of directions was like how important it is to actually go back and review like your goals that you've set, because it's not enough to just make your list or hopefully by the end of the year I get these 10 things done. It's like, well, what are you doing in the meantime? Like, are you checking in throughout the months? Like, do you have, I think I suggested like a quarterly review if you have the long-term goals, or with your long-term goals, you should have short-term goals of like how to achieve that. Work it backwards. Think big and then go backwards of, okay, how can I actually get there from where I'm at?
And a good example of that is in one of our previous podcasts, we talked about the business plan, and we talked about your 1-year plan, your 5-year plan. It's essentially the same thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so if you just implement that into your daily life, when it's time to go look at your business plan, if you're an entrepreneur, you're going back and you're looking at that and you're doing the exact same thing that you do on a daily and weekly basis.
Yeah.
So it's pretty dope. Do you find that you don't accomplish your goals, the goals that you set weekly or daily?
Not since I've been actively trying to work on that, but yes, in the past I would make a big list and then be like, all right, like
Yeah.
hope I get to it. And then I'd come back, I'd find the list like several months later and be like, oh, like
Yeah.
I said I was gonna do this thing and now I moved out of that apartment.
Yep.
I never did that.
Yep.
And so
Intentionality is
yeah,
everything. So
yeah.
it's so important. The last point is protecting your yes. Every time that you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. You're wanting to make sure that you have boundaries
Yeah.
and you protect your time.
Yeah.
So just think, you want to go out with your friends and you saying yes to drinks.
Right. How's that
With
gonna...
drinks comes, the hangover potentially, depending
Yeah.
on what you drink.
Mhm.
I like dark liquor, preferably.
Yeah.
But there's I feel like vodka kind of gives me that hangover feeling, and I don't
Yeah.
really like that. But that cuts into your time,
Oh yeah.
and so that was the point I was trying
Or
to make.
even just like you say yes to one drink and then that one drink turns into
into-
5,
yeah.
whatever, 3, who knows?
And then let's just party.
Yeah.
And so next thing you know, you've said no to something else. So you're saying no to rest.
Yeah.
You're saying no to ensuring that you get up early enough to hit all of the things that you wanted to do that morning, whether
Right.
that's meditation or just being able to sit in silence because you're resting.
Yeah.
So I feel like these are all very good points. I'm pretty sure there are many more, but I feel like these are good starter points on how to manage your time without losing your mind. And so today, I just want to encourage everybody to try a 7-day time audit and tag the show with your biggest aha moment. If you find that you have found that you're wasting time, or you find that you have gain time back by structuring your time a little bit more, we definitely want to know about it. Don't forget to go to turtlesmith.com for any questions, comments, or concerns that you have. If you have any information that you're wanting to receive for anything that we've talked about on this episode or previous episodes, turtlesmith.com is it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And before we get out of here, I want to take a few moments and thank my host, Dylan, today for stepping in and hanging out with me.
Well, thank you so much. It was lovely. I'm so glad I got to do this with you.
Absolutely. And now we're going to head out because it's ladies' night and we're partying.
Woo-hoo.
All right. Take care.